let's take a quick tour around our WordPress admin site to show you some of the functionality and features and what this relates to on your live website. So, to start with, this is our WordPress dashboard homepage. It is from this page that you can navigate to different areas within your admin area. Let's take a look across the top bar and give you an idea of what some of these things relate to. The main areas that you'll want to get familiar with is the Your Golf Academy tab. Using this Your Golf Academy tab in the drop-down, you can hit Visit Site. If you hit Visit Site, the page will refresh and it will open up your live WordPress page. However, be mindful, as soon as you do this, you will then need to go back a screen to get back to the admin page. We would recommend that you always have two tabs open, one with the dashboard admin area and one with your live WordPress website. Scrolling across to the corner, you will see here your profile section. So it's within this section, it'll tell you your username and what you're logged in under, which in this example is Demo Editor. And within this section, you'll be able to edit your profile. Let's go ahead and look at the Edit My Profile section. So within the Edit Profile section, this will edit the look and feel of your WordPress admin page and some of the key personal information that you will need. So you're able to edit the color scheme, you're able to click this box to show the toolbar when viewing the site. So let's go ahead and tick that. And we'll hit Update. So we can now see on our live WordPress website, we have the toolbar at the top of the page. That's a personal preference when you're working on your site, whether you want to have the toolbar visible along the top. So I'm going to de-tick that and hit Update. And the other key areas to be familiar with are your profile name, a nickname, and what your public name will be. It is not likely that your public name will be visible anywhere unless you are replying to comments on your WordPress blog page. And it will give you some choices of what to display that as. The email address that is attached to your account. You're able to add a bio and a profile image. And if required, generate a new password. If we navigate now back to the profile section in the top right hand corner, it is also within this area that you'll be able to log out of your WordPress admin page. So let's go back to the dashboard area. The main features that you'll need to get comfortable with are visible in the toolbar down the left hand side. Dashboard, we've already summarized, is the home page of your WordPress admin. Posts is going to relate to your blog posts, which we will find on your latest news page if this is enabled on your site. Let's go across to the live website to show you that. On the demo site, we have the Your Latest News visible under the Contact Us page. And we can see here that we've got some blog posts that are visible. And you may be using this to keep your customers up to date with your latest programs, offers, or coaching information. And you're able to provide a direct link to this page or specific blog posts with any marketing campaigns. Media relates to all of the media that's available on your site, which refers to images and videos. So it's within the media section that you're able to see the library of media that's available or add new media. A short tutorial is available on how to use these features. Pages relates to the pages of your website. So if we navigate to the live WordPress site and we click Home, your WordPress website includes 8 template pages for you to use. We have the home page, the specific lesson pages, a membership page, a page relating to a specific coaching facility, contact us, about you or your venue, and your latest news. It is within this section that you're able to edit those pages. Let's navigate to the All Pages tab. Here we're able to see a list of all the pages that are available. It's important to note that there are duplicates of each page. So we'll see here the About You or Your Venue. This is the live page on the website. You'll also see below the same page but in a draft. It is important that you don't change the draft at any point. Having this draft page enables you to use any of the information in case you make any mistakes on your live WordPress website. Some of the other key things to remember are available in the drop-down. If at any time you are going to delete a page, you're able to do this by selecting the page and click Move to Trash, and you would then click Apply. However, it's going to be rare that you would need to ever delete a page, and please consult the team at First Degree Golf Solutions before doing this. So let's now go down to the comments. The comments relates to comments that are made on your blog posts. If we go across to your latest news, and we hit one of the blog posts, we can see how we have some comments visible from users of the site underneath this blog post. And it's in this area in the comment section that you will approve and respond to comments. Again, a short tutorial is available in your bank of tutorials showing you how to do this. The next section we're going to look at is the FAQ section. The FAQ section relates to the frequently asked question functionality that you can add to each page of your site. So let's go to the home page and scroll down. We can see how we have a section, Frequently Asked Questions. It's within this option on the toolbar that you're able to add and edit those FAQs, and importantly, assign them to specific pages. In the training series that will follow, we're going to cover how you would do that. You're also able to consult the short video tutorials on these features. Moving down to the Our Pupils section, Our Pupils relates to the testimonials. If we look at the home page, we can see a testimonials section where you're able to display comments and testimonials from your clients. It is within this section that you're able to edit these testimonials and add new ones. Once again, in this training series, we'll show you how to do that, and there are short video tutorials available to remind you of how to do that. Moving down to the coaches section. The coaches section relates to the coaching team that you see on each page of your site. Similar to the testimonials and FAQs, again, you're able to add coaches, edit coaches, and assign them to specific pages. The membership section relates to the membership levels visible on each page of the website. If we go to the home page, we can see we've got the section Your Membership Levels. If you are utilizing membership levels and selling them through your website, this is a really important area to showcase what's available. And it's within this membership section that you're able to edit the membership levels, display the features and benefits, and assign them to specific pages within your site. The lesson types section relates to the lesson types available at the top section of each of your pages. So here on our home page, we can see your lesson types, and it's within this section that we recommend that you showcase the broad lesson types you are offering. If we navigate to one-to-one lessons, we can also see that we've got a section, Your One-to-One Lesson Options. And it's within this area that you can showcase the one-to-one lesson options available. You would add and edit these and assign them to specific pages through the Lesson Types tab. Again, we're going to cover that in this training series, and there are short video tutorials available showing you how to do this. Practice Facilities is the next section, and Practice Facilities relates to the coaching facilities and technologies that you have available at your venue. If we scroll down to the home page, we can see now the section Your Coaching Facilities, with a map showing the locations of your different facilities, a description, and then an icon next to each facility where you're able to show more information about this facility. It is within the Practice Facilities tab that you'll be able to edit and add new practice facilities. We will show you how to do this in the training series. The next section is the contact form. If we navigate across to the Contact Us page and scroll down, we have a Send Us a Message section. This allows your customers to send you messages if they want to request further information about your coaching products and services. It is within this section, the Contact Forms and Contact, that you're able to edit this section. Once again, we will cover this in the training series, and there are short video tutorials available on how to do the different functionality and features within this section. The final section that we're going to bring your attention to is Layer Slider WP. You will notice at the top of each of your pages there is a layer slider. Layer sliders are exactly that. They're sliding banners made up of layers of text, images, and buttons. If we go to the home page, we will see how the home page has 3 banners that scroll. It is within this layer slider section that you're able to edit the sliders and edit how they appear to your customers. Once again, we will cover this in full in the training series, and there are further tutorials available. So let's now move the training series along to show you how to edit a page and utilize all of the functionality that we have just discussed. Let's go ahead now and explore editing a page within your website. So what we're going to do during this training part, we're going to edit the home page of our demo site. I've added some of the functionality that would appear on some of the other pages to the home page so that we can explore how you would edit that functionality within the admin area within one page. And you can then take that understanding from this part of the training series and edit all of the content that would exist within the other pages of your site. So you shouldn't find any content or functionality on the other pages of your website that we won't explore within this training series. So we're going to work on the home page, and when you're going through this training series, I recommend that you stop each chapter and have a go at editing that section, and then rejoin the training series and edit the next section. So you can almost do the process sort of step by step and get comfortable with how you do each section. So what we need to do is we need to go to our admin area, and we're going to work from top to bottom on the home page. So the first section that we're going to edit is going to be the layer sliders that we see at the top. The logo and the menu items and the other areas that you see will be edited in the site setup by First Degree Golf Solutions, so you shouldn't need to change those. So let's head across to the dashboard area, and we're going to go down to Pages and choose All Pages. And as we explained in the tour component of the training series, we've got all our pages visible here, and there's drafts of each page. We're going to work on the live page, We shouldn't ever need to go into the draft page unless we need to retrieve some information that we might lose during the editing process of the live page. So let's go and find the home page. So we've now entered the home page where we can edit the information that's displayed. And let's quickly have a little look at what we're going to find on this screen that might be important. The first thing I want to draw your attention to is the name here, which is home. And we're going to have the permalink. So there is a tutorial available which explores permalinks and how they work. But simply we need to remember that if we edit the permalink, which is this link that appears after the URL, that's then going to be the link for that specific page. And if we've used that page on a marketing campaign and it has the old link to it, then customers won't be able to find the newly edited page. So the first thing we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to set the permalink that we want for this home page, and we're going to keep that quite simple and just have home, and we're going to click OK. So we now see that the permalink is going to be demosite.firstdegree.golf/home. If we provide that URL to any customers, they'll be able to be taken to this home page. And we're going to go ahead and update that just so you can see the change on the front end site. And as we've discussed before, we're going to have two pages open: the admin area page tab and our live front end website page. So let's go down now and look at the next sections. We don't need to worry too much about the layout builder. There shouldn't be a reason for you to change any of this area, as it will affect the layout of the page. If we go across to the publish section, what we're going to see is we're going to see a status, which is where the page is published. If for any reason we wanted to set it as a draft, then we could choose a draft page. However, when working on the live page, always try and keep the status as published. And visibility will always be public, and it will show the number of times that the page has been edited or revised and the last date and time that it was published. And you're able to use a preview option which will take you across to a preview of that page. So the home page that we can see there. We can see that the permalink is home. And we've got some sections down the side which we won't ever need to edit within this page. So don't worry about the page attributes and the layout that you see down the right hand side. So what we're going to do, we're going to edit the page from top to bottom. So the first section that we're going to edit is the layer slider. So let's scroll down slightly, and what we'll see is the section here that says advanced slider. We can see how it's set to your home page. So these are all the layer slider options. If for any reason you manage to delete this section, so if we look across here, we've got some tabs where we can clone the section, or the X where it will actually delete the section. So if for any reason that happens, you've got the draft page that you can go back to. As long as you don't hit update, the change shouldn't save. So if we were to click update now, then it would permanently delete that section. So let's have a go at that. So we'll update that, and if I now refresh the home page, we can see now how our scrolling that section has deleted. So the layer slider, has been deleted above the scrolling banner, which is not what we want. So if for any reason you manage to delete a section and you manage to save that section, what you can do is you can go across to templates, and you'll see a list of templates in here. And what we need to do is just find that template. So it will be scrolling bar template. Oops, sorry, actually it's layer slider template. So we're going to go ahead and click layer sliders template. Wait for that to refresh. And the template always goes to the bottom of the page, so we can see here. And what you're going to do is just hold on that section. We see how the area goes green. We're now going to scroll up to the area that we want to add it to, which was at the top of the page, And we can only drop that section into a green section. We can't drop that section into a blue section. So we're going to go ahead and drop that section into that section above. Just take it up here. There we go. So we've now got the layer slider, which is going to be visible at the top of the page. However, the drop down is set to about your venue, so we're going to choose your home page and we're going to hit update. And let's refresh the page and check that it's appeared again, and we can see now we've got the layer slider has reappeared in the correct section. So using the templates is a really good way of just making sure you don't delete any content in case you hit that sort of update or save section. So we're going to go ahead now and edit the layer slider. So let's click on edit layer slider, and it will take us to a new page. It will leave the home page open on another tab, and it will take us to the layer slider section here, visible on that left column of functions we can use. And it's on the layer slider home page. This lists all the layer sliders that we've got on our website, and we're going to go ahead and edit the Your Home page. And we're now into the Your Home page layer slider section. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to delete the sliders that are there currently. See, these ones are templates and they don't match the branding that might be visible on your site or the content that you want to advertise. So the first thing is, in order to delete the sliders, we're going to go ahead and click the X next to slide 3, 2 and 3. So let's go ahead and click the X and we'll hit OK. Hit the X, OK, and hit the X. Okay, so we've now got a slide number 1 which hasn't got any content, so it's a new slider that we're going to go ahead and edit. So we don't need to navigate at all to the slider settings or event callbacks. We're going to just work within the slides tab, and we're here on slide number 1. And the first thing that we need to do is we need to set the background image, how we're going to work on the background image. And there's two options here. We can click to set the background image from our media library. What we need to remember with that, if we just used an image from our media library, or we uploaded an image and we hit insert, you can see how that image has now appeared within the layer slider. And I could hit update or save and then refresh the home screen. And we can see how we've got that image that's appeared. However, we've lost the red bar that was visible at the top of the image, and the image is now sitting quite close to the menu items. So the look and feel isn't quite as crisp and won't be as good of an experience for your customers. So when working with the layer sliders, what I would recommend is that you always use post image. So if we click use post image, we're now going to be able to add a image to the slider itself in layers. And what that means is that the first thing that we can do is add our red sort of bar along the top, that red section. So it gives us a nice gap between the menu items and the banner itself, and also it sort of matches the branding and the look and feel of the site. So we've got use post image selected, size, position and color, we don't need to change those. And we'll come on to some of the other sections after we've started building our layers. So let's go ahead and add our first layer. So to do that, what we're going to do, we're going to go down the page to where we see layers, and we're going to choose the button add new. And we're going to be given some options here where we can add a variety of media types. We're going to go ahead and add select an image, which is the red bar is going to exist as an image within the toolbox that will be provided to you by First Degree Golf Solutions. So we're going to go ahead and select image. And we're going to go ahead and upload the image. So we're going to choose select files. And I've got the layer slider here ready. And we can see how the dimensions are 1700 pixels by 25. So that should be the format in which the layer slider red or the layer slider bar is provided to you. So let's go ahead and select open. I'm going to wait for it to upload. You can see here again the dimensions 1700 by 25, and we're going to go ahead and click insert. And we can now see that we've got our layer that's appeared. And we can move that around the page if we wanted to, but we already know that we want to try and keep that red strip at the top of our layer slider. So let's go ahead and move that up. And we're going to put it in line with 50, bottom of the 50. And we're just going to maybe widen it a tad so it extends the whole width. We'll go ahead and click save, see what that looks like. And refresh the page. Okay, there we go. So we've got the red strip now that's visible above where the image will sit, which gives us a nice gap between the menu items and the logo. So we've added our first layer now. Again, we could move the red section up to the top and hit save and refresh the page. And we'll see now the red strip will just move up higher and closer to the top menu items. So we'd always recommend that you have that red strip with a slight gap between the top of the banner. And we'll go ahead and hit save. So I'm happy with where that red strip is sitting on the banner. There we go. So now I need to start adding some more layers. So I'm going to add an image that's going to sit underneath this red section. So to do that, we're going to go again to layers, add new. We're going to choose image. We'll upload a file. So again, I'm in my WordPress training section, and let's find an image that we sort of might want to use. I'm going to go ahead and choose this one here. So let's go open. And we'll just wait for it to load. And we're going to go ahead and click insert. And just wait for the image to appear. Again, we can move the image around the screen. I'm going to sit the image flush. I might just decrease the size of it slightly. See there. We just need to be careful when we're playing with the size that we don't affect the proportions of the image too much. We get all of our image visible that we want to see within the slider itself. Okay, great. So I'm happy with where that sort of image is sitting. Remember, this is going to be an image which is going to sit in the background. So when you're selecting an image, just make sure that the image is not too busy and not too bright. So potentially this one may be a little bit bright for the layers that are going to sit on top, but we're going to go with it for the purpose of the training series. So just consider when you're selecting image that you choose an image which can sit nicely in the background and really bring all the layers to the fore when a customer's viewing the slider. The other thing to realize is if we go again and maybe delete that layer and we'll add a new one, we can upload. You are limited to a maximum upload file size of 1 megabyte. So here I've got some really nice images that we could have used. However, the file size is quite large, so you're just going to need to play around with setting the image size so that you can compress the size of it to under 1 megabyte. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add that image again. Hit insert, and we'll get it to sit under that section. So we've now got our red strip and we've got our image. I'm going to go ahead and hit save. And we'll go ahead and refresh the screen. There we go. So I've got the red strip and the image. Just going to move that image up slightly just so it sits flush with the red bar. Save. And refresh the screen. There we go. Okay, so now I need to add some more layers, some call to actions and other features that I want to showcase on my layer slider. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add some text. So I'm going to go ahead and choose the text, and the layer will automatically go up into the top left corner. So I'm going to move that down. And we now need to add some text to the banner, which promotes the coaching service or the call to action that we want to display to our customers. So we're going to go with a simple bit of text. Coaching Okay, so we've now got the text. However, if we look on the layer slider, we can see that the text is too dull and it's also too small. So we're going to go ahead and try and change the color of the text and change the size of the text as well. So to do that, what we just need to do is we need to go across to styles, and we can see here that we've got text, font and styles. So family, we can choose the font we want to use. So we may have a particular font we use with our branding. So I'm going to go ahead and select Tahoma, and I'm definitely going to increase the size of the font, and I'm going to go ahead and definitely change the color. So I'm going to go maybe with a white. And there we go, we've got the color that's changed on the font. However, we can see here that the size of the font I'm happy with, but it's extended across quite a large portion of the banner itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into the content of that text layer, and I'm going to separate it out. So I'm going to select the wording that occurs after professionals and delete that. And we're going to go ahead and click save. And I'm going to go ahead and duplicate that layer because I like the text and the color. And I can do that using this duplicate list layer icon. You can see here, we'll go ahead and name it number 4. And we're going to add that text that we deleted, and we now move it sort of underneath. There we go. So coaching from PJ Professionals to help improve your game. And we're going to go ahead and click save. So we've got 4 layers now. We've got the red strip, we've got the image, and we've got 2 text layers. And all I want to simply do now is add a call to action button. So I'm going to go add new, and I'm going to choose button. You can see how the button has appeared in the top left corner. I'm going to put it down here in this section. However, I'm not happy with the color. It doesn't match my branding. So I'm going to go across to styles. And we need to go down to other settings here where we can see the background color is set to blue. So I know that my hex color is that, which is now going to change it to red. And we can also play around a little bit with the way in which the button looks, so the roundness of the corners, etc. You can just play around with that and get the right look and feel, but I'm happy with that. However, I do want the font to be the same, so I'm going to go to Homer, and pretty happy with the size of the text. So now I'm just going to go back to the content, and I'm going to change the button to book a lesson. Okay, so I've got my 5 layers now, and a button, a call to action, And all I now need to simply do is link that call to action button to a link. So what I'm going to do is go to links and attributes, and I'm going to enter the URL. So I'm simply going to go back to my live WordPress website page, and I'm going to link it to my booking system. So I'm just going to get the URL, which is there, and I'm going to enter the URL, and I'm going to choose that I want to open it on the same page, and we'll hit save. And we'll refresh the page. Okay, so we've now got our layer slider that's visible with the 5 layers, including the call to action button, and if we were to click the button it would go to our booking system. Okay, so that's the first option with layer slider. Let's have another go now at adding a new slider with some slightly different functionality. So to do that, what we're going to do is just go up to the top and we're going to hit the X, and we're going to add a new slide, and this will now appear as slide number 2. Again, the same again, we're going to use the post image. I've already got my red bar that's visible here. Again, we're going to move it down into the same section, and I'm going to add a background image. Let's find one that we can use. Let's go with this one again, just for the purpose of the training series. And we'll insert the image. Again, we'll move it down and get it sitting just below the red bar. There we go. So we've got 2 layers. However, now on my layer slider, I want to add some media. I want to bring my slider to life by adding a video. So we can do that now by adding our 3rd layer. We're going to choose Add New. And we're going to go ahead and choose Video and Audio. And we get a couple of options here. We get to insert from a URL. So if you're hosting a video on maybe a YouTube page or Vimeo, you can add the video through a URL. Or we can embed the video or through HTML code. Would recommend that you're just going to use the insert from URL. So most of you will have some sort of YouTube page or a Vimeo page that you can link the URL from, which means that you can host that video on those websites. So I'm going to go to my YouTube page. I'm going to choose this video that I want to add. So I'm going to go ahead and just select the URL. Go back to our layer slider, add the URL. We can see now it appears in the preview, and we're going to go ahead and choose Add Video. And there's the layer in the top left corner, and we're just going to drag it so it sits in this section. There we go, and we don't need to change any of the code that we see here or any of the other information. We don't need to change anything else that exists within the styles, links and attributes or transitions. We can just leave the video sitting there, and it will play when the slider starts and when the customer clicks the play button. Let's go ahead and save. And we're just going to add now some text. Sort of bring it down. Add some information. Styles, I'm going to adjust the font size to slightly bigger. And we'll change the color. You can see there how we've got the red and the white that have been saved. There we go. And I'm happy with the look and feel of that banner. So let's go ahead and save. can refresh the screen. And we've got the first banner that we added here, and now what we can see, we've got some arrows that have appeared, meaning that there's more than one slider available. So the slider now will automatically slide based on the settings that we've applied, which we're going to cover. Or we could just scroll the banner by clicking the arrow. And we now see how the video has appeared. We could go ahead and play that video. And we've got our text that's visible, although it's slightly overlapping over the top of the video, so we might go back in and edit that text. And we're just going to do the third banner now, just to show you how you can really elevate your banners. So we're going to add a new slider. Or what we could do would also be to import a slider, which means we could use the settings that are visible. So we could go ahead and choose slide number 1, because we've already created that. We'll go ahead and delete this one. So we can see now how we've got slide number 1, which has been duplicated as slide number 3. And that's useful now because we can just go back into that banner, delete any of the layers that we don't want. You can see there. Delete the text. Delete the call to action. But I'm going to go ahead and try and change this image. I think I want to have an image which is slightly less busy. So we're going to go ahead and delete that layer and add a new image. Let's see if we can find an image which is probably slightly less busy. Let's go ahead and maybe use these ones here. We'll just increase the size of it. So we've got now a slightly less busy image that we can use. And the benefit of that now is if we were to add a new layer and we really wanted to bring our sliders to life, we can layer on some pretty cool images on top. So we've got a couple here ready to go. We've got a nice coaching image here. And we can go ahead and insert. There we go. We've got a nice coaching image that we can sit on top of that slider, which really brings the slider to life. Again, I could add another image. Maybe we've got some icons that we want to use. And we can insert. There we go. We've got a pretty cool iPad icon that we could use and sit on top of our banner. So again, just working with the layers. It's a really simple to use system. You're just layering on the media content. It needs a little playing around with just so you get comfortable with getting the proportions correctly. You could obviously keep the banner quite simple, but using the images and the layers and some of the other functionality really brings that layer slider to life and that element of your coaching business to sort of sell your services and your expertise and really showcase the type of coaching brand that you want to offer. So we're going to go ahead and save that. And we've now got our 3 sliders that will be visible on the home page. So we've got a fairly basic slider number 1 using text and a call to action button. We've then got a media or a video layered on top, and then the last one that we obviously got is bringing the layer slider to life through some imagery and iconography and really bringing the slider to life. So the final thing that we really now want to do is just get the flow of the sliders correct, so how they transition from one to another and how long we want to see those sliders lasting for. So we do that just by simply using the slide timing and the slide transition. So let's go slide number 1 and we can choose the duration, and here you get a little bit of a pop-up which gives you some information, and it just tells you the value of the duration. So The duration is in milliseconds, so the value of 1 millisecond equals 1 second. So I want to have the slider visible for 5 seconds. And we can see there that we've got it visible next to the duration. And we'll leave the time shift as is. And the next thing we just want to do is just select whether we want to have a transition or not. So the transition being the way in which one slider moves in after another slider. So let's go ahead and select the transition. And I think we'll keep it fairly simple. We're just going to slide it from the right. And once it's ticked, we can now hit the X and go ahead and save. And I'm going to go ahead and set the same settings for slide number 2 and slide number 3. There we go. Add the transition. Hit save. And slide number 3. And we'll now refresh the home page. And the sliders now will transition as we've set them. So 5 seconds, the slider will transition to the next, and it will slide in from the right as we selected. So that part of the training series covers the basic use of the layer slider, so you can get going with creating your sliders. A lot of it is just playing around, getting comfortable with the functionality. Remember, just make the changes, view it again, delete, restart, and you can really bring your website to life by creating some really cool sliders to showcase your coaching services and products. So we've now edited our layer slider section at the top of the home page, and we can now navigate back to our home page. So we can just save the changes just to make sure that they get saved. And we can now exit out of that tab, and we're now back on the home page. And the next section that we're going to go down now and edit is the scrolling banner that appears, which allows your customers to quickly get to your booking system or store section. So let's go ahead and view that on the home page. We'll refresh the screen. So we can see here that we've got this red section. As we scroll down, it scrolls with the page, and it has 2 buttons, Book a Lesson and Visit Store. So these allows your customers to quickly get to those pages if they're interested in taking advantage of your coaching services. So what we need to now do is we can go down to this color section, and the color here is set to red. However, this color section will have been adapted in your website setup by First Degree Golf Solutions, so you won't need to change that. And you won't need to change the Book a Lesson and Visit Store buttons. They will be linked to the correct pages. However, if you do want to go into those buttons and change where they link to for any reason, all you need to simply do is you need to hover over the Book a Lesson button and go across here to the Edit element. And we can see here we've got the Book a Lesson. For any reason you wanted to change the wording that exists within that button, you can. And we've got here the button link is set manually, which means that we can add a URL. So let's go ahead and link our booking system into this section. And we don't need to change any of the other drop downs. We're just going to hit save. And we can do the same for the store. And hit save. We're now going to update the changes. Go back to our home page. And if we now hover over those buttons, we can see how we've got the links appearing in the bottom corners. If for any reason you wanted to change those buttons, then that's absolutely fine. you can go back into the element, and maybe you want to link that to a specific page. So let's go for find out about juniors. Maybe you particularly want to focus on getting your customers to your junior page, and you can actually now go down to the button link, and you could link that page to one of the pages within your site. So let's go ahead and choose your Junior Academy, copy the URL, and add it in, and hit save. And you may want to change the store button to contact us. And you can go down and change the URL to the contact us page. And hit save. I'm going to hit update. And we go back to the home screen. And we can see now how the buttons have changed within that scrolling banner. So we've edited the scrolling banner section on that home page. However, I want to get my scrolling banner back to how it was at the start. I want to try and upsell my booking system and store buttons. So to do that, I can now simply just hit the X, which will delete the section. I can add the template again. So we're going to go and find scrolling bar template, and we choose it, and it will go into the bottom. And we can now drag that section back to the top, and we'll put it just below the layer slider. Hit update. And we can see that we've got the correct buttons now visible. So the next section that we're going to cover now in the training series is the drop-down option that we've got visible underneath the banner. Normally on the home page, the drop-down section wouldn't be visible. We need to be conscious when we've got our page live and up and running that if we have too many sections visible, then the page length will be quite long. You'll find that customers maybe get a little bit confused and they won't end up going to the bottom of the page. So just being conscious of not adding too many sections to each page would be worth considering. However, for the purpose of the training series, we're going to get you to understand how you can edit this section and use this functionality to showcase the information you want to get to the customers. So again, the section is the next section that sits underneath, and it's made up of two sections. We have the section that is visible on the page with a read more button, and the read more button brings a drop down which can be closed and open. And that's a really useful feature for your customers, which means that they don't have a lot of content to be reading straight away, and they can choose the content that they want to view. So let's go ahead and close that, and we're going to go ahead and edit this section. So simply all that we would do is we again are going to hover over the section, and we're going to choose Edit Element. And we can see here now we've got the content visible in the text block. And we have two sections that is visible. We have visual and text, which is the text within the code. And the code is useful for aligning the text, spacing the text appropriately, changing the font, etc. And really all that you need to get used to editing is the text that exists. Try not to change too much, to change the code, as this will affect the visually and the way in which your text will appear. Again, if for any reason you make any changes, you've got the draft page that you can go and copy the content from, or you can use the templates that are usable within the page itself. So we simply would edit the visual section here, and you can just change the text within the section by simply add in some text and this text would describe why customers would want to take advantage of our coaching services. And again, you can use this area as you wish. You can change the header, change the text to whatever suits your coaching service. And let's go ahead and hit save. And we can see now how the text has changed. We could also, if we want to, change the button. And we could also change the link. However, the button corresponds to a drop-down, so we're not going to change the link, otherwise the button itself would start directing customers to a different page and not open the drop-down. So we're just going to leave the hashtag there, and we're just going to change the button to different content that we can see there. So that's how to edit the text, how to change the button. So we now need to edit the content visible within the drop-down itself. And this is now within this next section below here. So if we hit save, so we can save the changes, you can see how the button's changed. We can click that and it now opens up the drop-down. And we can go ahead and edit this next section, which is visible here. And this section is made of 3 columns. You have the image that sits in the center, and you have the text elements that sit to the side. So it exists within 3 columns. And simply you'll just be changing the text. You may want to change the image that sits within the center. You just need to make sure that if you change the image, you work within the proportions of the image that's visible in the media library. So to change the text, you would simply just click on the text columns in the edit element. And again, we have that same text block with a visual and the code. And you're just simply going to go ahead and change the text. So my first reason might be highly trained. And I'm going to add a description. So our coaching team is highly trained and continually invest in their coaching skills. And we're going to go ahead and hit save. And we'll hit update. And we can see now how we've got our first feature added with a short description in this section here. So you can go around and edit all of those sections to suit the information you are going to display to your customers. Within the templates, there also exists a separate drop-down functionality that you could use. So let's go and show you how you would use that section. So we're not going to change this section here. We still want to have a header and an option to open that section. But we're going to go ahead and delete the drop-down. And we're going to go to our templates. And we're going to find the next template, which would be drop-down features, template 1. So the one that we were just editing was why drop-down features. So we're going to go ahead and add drop-down features template 1. And we can see that it's now visible at the bottom of the page. We're going to grab the section, move it up to the top and add it below that section. And let's go ahead and update and refresh the page. And we have a different look now to the features that we want to advertise. So we can have some icons and a header and some descriptions that sit below those sections. You can see here. Now we can go ahead and add some images to that section by simply choosing the column hitting the edit element button, and we can delete that image and insert a new one. So let's choose a feature that we want to add. I'm going to go ahead and add this one, hit insert, and hit save. And we're going to hit update. And then let's refresh the screen. Now we can see there we've got a new icon that's appeared underneath feature number 1. We do need to be conscious that when we're editing images and media within those sections, that we try and work within the size dimensions of the images. So to do that, we can go ahead and find the size dimension of a particular image, and we can see that it's here, this one, and we can see that the size is 113 pixels by 108. We can also grab the image itself, add it to our desktop, and we'll be able to see the pixels that are used for that image within the actual image itself that's added as a template. If we start adding images that are out of proportion, so let's choose this one where the image is going to be too large, hit save, and then we need to hit update. We can see now how the image size has changed, and it's knocked down now the text and header that sits below that image. So importantly, when you're amending the images and adding new media, try and keep the image size consistent so that you keep consistency of how the text aligns underneath those images. So I'm going to go reset that one. To this one, insert, save, and we'll update it. And there we go, we've got the right image size that's visible with the text and headers sitting in line. And again, similar to the section that we edited before, we can go ahead and edit the element, edit the header, and edit the text that sits underneath the image. And if required, you can edit the button, again making sure that you don't change where the button links to, so that it just closes the drop down when a customer clicks it. We're going to go ahead now and edit the next section on our home page. So if we go to our home page and we'll refresh the screen, we're going to scroll down now, and the next section that we're going to see is called Your Lesson Options. So this is the section now where you can list the lesson options that are available to your customers. You need to remember that on the home page, I'd recommend that you list the generic lesson options available to your customers. You will have specific pages that you can use to showcase specific information on certain lesson options you will be offering. For instance, you might offer one-to-one lesson options, and on the home page, you may not want to list all of those lesson types, but simply list a lesson option as one-to-one. Within the one-to-one lesson page, you can then list whether you offer 30 minutes, 60 minutes, 2 hours, or whatever may suit your coaching brand. So within this lesson options section, what we've got to do is add images, and we can see here the images that we need to add and the size. So 305 by 201 pixels. Again, trying to make sure that the images are consistent so that it doesn't affect the layout of the text and the headers that sit underneath. We also need to edit some information within the read more modal. We can also add a small pop-up image to the corner, and then we need to link these modal buttons to the correct pages. And underneath each lesson option, you also have a quick button which can get your customers to your booking system or store. So let's go ahead and go to our home page, and we're going to go down to the correct section. And the first thing I'm going to do is edit the name of the section. So I want it to be called My Lesson Options, and I'm going to hit save and update. So to now edit the lesson options, we need to navigate away from the home page. We can see here under the lesson options we have a piece of code which says lesson type shortcode category number 8. And the shortcode category relates to the categories that are available within the lesson type tab visible on the left. However, I want to make sure that I keep this home page visible, so I'm going to go to my tab on my browser, and I'm going to left click and I'm going to click duplicate, and it will duplicate the page, and I can now navigate away from this page, and I still have the home page visible here on the other tab. So I'm going to go to lesson types and choose all lesson types, and I'm actually going to choose categories, and we have some categories here visible on the screen. So remember, in the code it said shortcode category 8, and if I go across now to your home page and I hover over the count, we can see that we've got 6 lesson types visible within that category. And if I hover over the name, your home page, and look in the bottom left hand corner, and if we look along the URL, we can see that we've got a small part of it which says location category tag ID equals number 8. So all of the lesson types that are visible within this category, category 8, are going to be displayed on our home page. So it's really important that you don't change the code here or the category that exists, as it will change what information is visible on the page. So let's go ahead then and open up your home page. When you need to go into the lesson options available within a category, just make sure that you click on the number, the count section, and you don't click on the title. If we click on the title, it will just mean that you can edit the category itself. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to click on the count number just here. And here we are, we've got 6 lesson types that are visible. So I'm going to edit these lesson types. Let's go and do lesson type number 1 to start with. And I'm going to firstly add the title. So the title for me is going to be one-to-one lesson. Actually, I'm going to go for adult one-to-one. And I'm going to change the permalink to adult one-to-one. And hit OK. Okay, so now what I can do is I can edit the text that's going to appear underneath the header. So the header is here, lesson type 1, and I can edit the text that appears underneath. And if we hover over that lorem ipsum text we've got here, we can see how the word count is 14. And again, it's really important that any of the text that you add underneath the header is consistent in size across all of your lesson types. Otherwise, you'll start to see a change in the alignment of the text sections below the images. So I'm going to try and keep it to under a word count of 14. So let's go one-to-one lesson options for adults to help improve your game. And full stop. And we can see the word count is 12. And before I edit that, I can of course go to preview changes, as we've discussed before, and it will show me a preview of how that will look just here. However, it only gives me a preview in a sort of blog post view. It won't necessarily give me a view of how it will look on our live site. So Remember, you can always go back in and edit the text, but we're going to go ahead and hit update. And we're going to refresh the page and just see how that looks. We've actually got it there, adult 1-to-1, so this must have been number 2. And we can see we've got the text visible, and it's across two lines, so I'm happy with that. We'll try and keep the text the same size. So let's scroll down. The next section that we then got is a book a lesson and purchase a gift. And these two sections correspond to the buttons that go below the description and header. When there's no text visible within those sections, it means that the button won't appear. And we can see that we've got a link here visible under book a class. So we can see that's why the book a class button has appeared. However, this is a 1-to-1 lesson, so I'm going to take that out of there and I'm going to put it in book a lesson and purchase a gift. So we'll go grab the store URL, which is here, and we're going to add that URL into the purchase a gift section. We're going to hit update. And we should find now that underneath that lesson option we have 2 buttons now visible. We've got book a lesson, which will link to the booking system, and purchase a gift, which will link to the store. So we've got our buttons visible now. We've got our text and our header. We're going to leave the book a class empty. And we now want to add some images. So the featured image is the image that will be shown on the website. So we're going to go ahead and change the featured image. And we're going to upload a file, remembering that we can only upload a file size of 1 megabyte. And I've got some images prepared here that I want to use. So I'm going to go ahead and use this image here with an icon. I'm going to hit open. And we've got the dimensions correct there. And let's set it as a featured image. We're going to update it. And refresh the page. There we go, we've got the icon visible on top of a background color. You also have the functionality within this section to be able to add a hover state. So what that means is, at the moment, if I hover my cursor over the image, nothing happens. However, we can see here we've got hover image. If I add an image to this section, and I'm going to find one that's the correct size. Let's see if we can find one that go with this one here, 305 by 201. I'm going to select the image. You can see now it appears in the hover image, and we're going to update and refresh the page. And what we'll now find, if we hover over that image that we layered on top, we'll then have now hover state where we get the image sitting in the background, which is a nice touch to bring to your website. Again, just remember that you must have the image that sits in that hover state the same size as the image that sits in front, otherwise it will just affect the sort of usability of your website. So we've now only got one more thing to do, which is to add our read more content, and we simply do that by going down to the modal text that we can see here, and we can change the text that exists within that modal. And there's no real limit to the amount of text that you can add. The modal will just increase in size, but just be conscious of those who may be viewing your website on iPad or mobile, that if you have too much content, it will just be quite difficult for your customers to get the information that they need. You can also add some media content within those modals. So you can do that simply by adding media and either uploading a file or choosing an image. So I'm going to go with one of these images here. Let's go with this one. And we can see now how the image appears. And I can move the image by just simply spacing the image out. I can also select the image and I can change its position left and right within the modal. and I'm going to go with centered. I'm going to go with left, sorry, and we're going to save the changes, update, and then let's have a look at that. So we can see now how we've got the image visible. So now that we've added our modal type content, we only have a couple of things left to do within our lesson type that we're adding to our home page. So if we scroll down, we're now going to get to pop-up small image, and that refers to a small icon or image that can be visible in the top corner of your modal. So if we look here and just refresh the page and open up the read more modal, we can see here that we've got a small image visible in the top right hand corner that we can edit and add an image to, which will really just elevate the look and feel of your site. So in order to do that, we're going to delete the template icon and add a new image. And we're going to find an image that's appropriate. And we could upload an image again to the media, as long as the image is, again, the correct size and proportions. We could grab the correct size image from our current media library, or we could also edit the size of an image itself within the media section. So let's go ahead and grab an image that's maybe slightly the wrong size. So let's go with this one here. So we're going to go with this icon, and we can see here that the image is 484 by 500. So it's going to be quite a big image to put into that top section. So what we can actually do is edit the image size. So this image here will roughly be the right size, 118 by 122. So if I go into this image and hit edit, and I can go now to the top right hand corner and change the dimensions, and we're just going to hit scale, and it will automatically adjust the size of the image. You can see there, and all we then need to do is hit back and select the image. We can see here it's selected here on the right, and it will add it then into the pop-up small image section, and we can update and refresh the page. And we can see now how we've got a nice icon image that's visible in the top right hand section of the modal. And the final couple of bits we've just got to do now is decide whether we want to add a button to the modal itself. So if we see here the read more modal, if we leave that blank and hit update, we can see how we only now have a close button to close the modal itself. However, especially on your home page, you may want to add a link to get a customer to a specific page on your site. So this one is all about one-to-one lessons, this option. So I'm going to link to my one-to-one lesson page and hit update. And you can see now how we've got the read more button that will link to that one-to-one lesson page. So to finish adding the lesson type, the only final thing we've got to do is decide which category we want to add this one-to-one, this lesson type to. So if we look here in categories, we've got our categories, adult group, homepage, coaching facility, junior academy, and one-to-one lessons. So this one's all about one-to-one lessons, and I'm going to have a separate one for juniors at some point. So all I'm going to do is just make sure that it's ticked on your home page, which means that this lesson type option will only appear in the category your home page. I don't want it appearing in any of the other options, as it's only really relevant to the home page. If I was to tick that I wanted it to appear within Junior Academy and your adult group, and then I hit update, if we navigate now to one of those pages, so let's go your Junior Academy, we can see how the adult one-to-one lesson option has appeared on the Junior Academy page, which obviously wouldn't be relevant. So I'm going to de-tick Junior Academy and adult group, hit update, and go back to the home page. And I've now got my adult one-to-one lesson option visible with all the information that I need, the correct links to get my customers to the information they need. So the next section that we're going to cover is the Your Membership Levels section. You would have already had a consultation with the team at First Degree Golf Solutions, and your website and locker system is built with membership levels. It's built with up to 4 membership levels which you can assign to your students or you can sell through your store. And this allows you to give pupils and your customers different benefits when utilizing your coaching services. So in this part of the training series, we're just going to cover how you would edit the membership level section, add features and benefits, and link these membership levels to specific pages. So we need to head over to our admin section on the home page within Pages, and we're going to scroll down to the correct section, which is titled Your Membership Levels. So the first thing is we're going to change the title so it matches the way in which we want to showcase our memberships, and I'm going to call this Academy Memberships. And we're going to hit Save. And what we'll notice, very similar to the lesson options, is we've got some shortcode visible underneath the header. This is Membership Shortcode Category 46. So similar to the lesson options, this means we're going to need to navigate away from this page to edit the membership levels that will be visible within the home page. We don't want to change the code, we're going to leave that as it is, but we are going to duplicate the tab by left clicking and hitting duplicate, and it means that we can keep our home page open, but now we're going to navigate across to the section on the left that says membership. And we're going to click on all membership types to start with. And what we'll see within all membership types is 4 levels. The locker system only exists with the functionality of up to 4 member levels that you can assign to your customers. You don't have to use all 4, but you are limited to 4 member levels. So to edit the membership levels visible within the home page, we're going to go to Categories. And the same as the Your Lesson options, we're going to go across and hover over the membership name. And if we look down in the bottom left corner, the home page, if we look down in the bottom left corner, we can see we've got it says category tag ID equals 46. So whatever we edit within this category will show up within our home page. And we're going to go across to the count and choose 4. There's 4 member levels currently showing within the home page. So we're going to go ahead and edit level 4 for the purpose of this training series. I'm going to click on level 4. And we might choose to change the name of the membership. So I'm going to change the name to Premium Membership. So this is going to be my top level of membership that I offer within my academy. Change the permalink. And I'm going to ignore the Visual Composer to start with, and I'm simply going to go down to Short Description. So we've just closed the Visual Composer by hitting the arrow. And the short description relates to the text that's visible under the icon, and we can also now edit the buttons that are visible underneath that section. So I'm going to change some of the text. Again, I'm going to try and keep the proportions the same, the amount of text that I've got. And I'm just going to add Premium Membership for those looking to elevate their game to the next level. And I've decided that I'm going to charge a yearly fee for this, £99. I'm going to leave the join now. And then at the bottom here we can see we've got a sign up button text. So we're going to keep it as sign up now. I could also change this to join now. And then I'm going to add a URL for where I want this to link to. So as I'm selling this as a membership level within my store, I'm going to have the store URL, but you could have a link to your Contact Us page if you wanted customers just to get in contact with you via your Contact Us form. And we're going to hit update. And we'll refresh the home page, and we can now see that we've got the text that's changed, the price, and the Join Now button has changed and it links to the store. So the next thing we now want to do is we want to list the features that are available within this membership. So to do that, we're going to open up the Visual Composer again. And the Visual Composer is built of columns and rows. And these are clearly defined when you hover over them, and you can also see the grey section around the outside. So we don't want to change the size of these columns or move them around. We're just going to edit the information within the sections themselves. So I'm going to keep the button the same, and I also want to make sure that my buttons link into the store. So I can check that just by clicking the edit button. And I just want to make sure that the URL, you can see there, is linking to the store. So that's fine. So I now want to start to edit the description that's visible here. So I'm simply going to again hover over, and I'm going to hit the edit icon and add some text. And I'm going to hit save. And I'm just going to update it so that I can see that the home page corresponds as I'm making changes. We can see there. So now I need to start listing the benefits that are included within this membership level. So the template at the moment is showing 3 rows with a column of images and a column of text. So you may only want to list 3 benefits within this level, you may only want to list 2, or you may want to add more. So to start with, if you wanted to remove benefits, all you would simply do is you'd go across here to the delete this row. So we want to delete the entire row, we want to get rid of the text and the icon. So I'm going to delete benefit 3, hit OK, and hit update. And if we now open the read more, we're going to see 2 benefits that are listed. If I wanted to add benefits, I would simply again just go to the icon here where it says clone this row, and it's going to clone the text and the image. So I'm going to have 4 benefits that are listed within this member level. So let's go ahead now and edit the benefits. So the first benefit that I'm going to include, benefit 1, is going to be 20% off 1-to-1 lessons with our coaching team. Now we're going to hit save. And we now want to add an image that corresponds to that feature, that benefit. So within your toolbox that you have been provided with, there will be some iconography you can use within these benefits. So to do that, we're just going to click on the edit icon, and we're going to get rid of the template icon and add a new one. So I can upload the file from my bank of iconography I've been provided with, or I can choose from a media library that I might already have within my site, and I'm going to find an icon that sort of matches that benefit. So I'm going to go and find a discount icon if I can. Let's have a look. So this one looks pretty good here. We're going to go set image, and we're going to hit save. So we've now got an icon which corresponds to the benefit. Benefit number 2, let's have a go. So I'm going to go with weekly clinics. exclusive clinics just for those with a premium membership. And I'm going to hit save. And again, I'm going to add an image that corresponds to that. So let's find one that's, here we go, we'll go with this free icon. And hit save. And we're going to hit update. So you would carry on adding the benefits as we've just shown on those two until you've added all the benefits that you think apply. And then you've got to edit the row for the price, which we know is £99 per year. Hit save. And then the final section that we need to add at the bottom is the button for someone to join or register. So again, you can do that by just clicking the edit element. You can change the text, so I'm going to do join. And we've got the URL linked to the store. And we're going to hit save. And we're going to then hit update and see how that looks on our front end site. Let's open up the section. So I've got a couple of images that correspond to the features, price, and then a button to join. So once we've finished, the only final thing that we would need to do is change the featured image so it corresponds to the membership level that we're offering. So in this case, we would add an image that corresponds to a premium membership. And then we've just got to assign the category that we want this membership level to appear in. So for example, I might only be offering my premium membership to adults. I'm not offering any content that would be specific to any juniors I teach. So I might not want this membership level to appear on my junior page. So I'm going to de-tick junior, but I want it to appear on adult and the home page. And I'm then going to hit update. So we can see on the home page we've got 4 member levels visible with our edited content. But if we were now to go across to Junior Academy, we will see that only 3 member levels are going to be visible. Let's just make sure we've got the category set up correctly there. This is a good example of making sure the code is specific. So let's make sure that we'll de-tick that one. It's going to our level 2. So the level 2 membership we might be offering to juniors as well as adults. So let's refresh the page. Okay, so we can see now that we've got level 2 visible. However, we don't want level 4. Let's go back in and change that one. Just this one. De-tick the Junior Academy. And refresh the page, and hopefully this time we'll only see level 2 visible within the membership levels on Junior Academy. So there's example of how you would edit the membership levels section to correspond to the membership levels you're offering within your locker system. The next section that we now need to edit is the Your Coaches section that's visible within your website pages. We're here on the home page and we can see the Your Coaches section underneath your membership levels. The template includes 4 coaches, and depending on your locker account that you have with First Degree Golf Solutions, you will either just list your single coach or up to 4 coaches. Within this section, you're able to display the coaches with an image, title, their name, and a bio. and you're able to assign these coaches to different pages within your site. So let's take a look at how you would do that within the admin area. So we're going to go across to our home page, and we're going to scroll down to the next section, which is titled Your Coaches. And we're going to edit the header name to our coaching team. And we'll hit save, and we'll update. So we now need to edit the coaches that we have available. On the home page, we would want to list all of the coaches that are available at our academy. Similar to the memberships and lesson types, we can now see that we've got a coaches shortcode category 41. So again, we need to navigate away from this page and go to the coaches section on the left. So we'll duplicate the page, and we'll go to coaches, and we're going to choose categories. If we hover over the home page category, we can see that we've got the ID 41, which is correct for the home page that we're editing. So we're then going to click on the count. And we have our 4 coaches listed, as we want to list all of our coaches that are available. So let's go ahead and edit coach number 1. So firstly, we can use a name. And then we need to enter a title. The title appears below the coach name and image. And we do this within the Visual Composer section that we've used before. We can click on the edit icon, and we're going to add the title. And hit save. As we scroll down, we now need to add 2 images. We need to add a bio image, which sits to the left of the bio that you're going to add in the drop-down. And we need to add a featured image. Let's go ahead and add the featured image first. So you'll see here on the featured image for the template that we have an image which doesn't have a color wraparound. But if we go across to our front-end site, we're going to see that we've got a red wraparound around that image. That means that when we add the image, we don't need to add an image with a red circle or a color around the image itself. That will automatically happen when we add the image. And that color will correspond to the look and feel and branding of your website. So I'm going to go ahead and add my image to start with. So I'm going to click on Featured Image, and I'm going to upload a file, remembering that it needs to be under 1 megabyte. And I'm going to find my image, which is here, and I'm going to hit open. And let's click Set Featured Image. And we can now see how I've got my image appearing in the featured image section. And we'll now hit update. And we'll refresh the page. So we can now see how I've got my image appearing within the red circle wraparound. So I'm now going to go ahead and edit the bio. I can add an image to the left of the bio and then text. And I want to keep the look and feel the same, so I want to make sure that I've got a circular headshot with a red wraparound. So we now need to add an image with that wraparound, and this will be provided by the team at First Degree Golf Solutions, based on the content that you provide. So let's go ahead and select that. I'm going to add the image under the section Bio Image that we see here. And let's go ahead and see if we've already got one in the media library. So I don't have one there with the red wraparound, so I'm going to upload the file. And I'm going to find my one with the red wraparound. So let's go open. And we're going to select the image and then hit update. And then let's refresh the screen. Okay, so we now have the red wraparound around that headshot image. next to where my bio is going to go. You can see the dimension of the image that you can use through the template image that's visible, and it indicates the pixel size that you can use to fit within this area. So the last thing is now we need to add the bio, and we can add however much text that we need, but we need to be conscious that, again, when a customer is viewing this information on mobile, the size of the drop-down may affect the way in which they enjoy using your site. And you want to make sure that you have consistency across all of the bios. So I'm going to just copy this lorem ipsum for the purpose of the training series, and I'm going to add it in the bio text section just here. Again, within this section, I could add another image, but I'm going to just keep the image that's visible to the side and add a small amount of text. And let's hit update, refresh the page, and we can now see that we've got the text that appears, and this is a good amount of text to fit the sizing of the image. And the last thing we now need to edit is the button, book a lesson. So we can see next to the read bio, we have a book a lesson button, and we can link this directly to our booking system. Alternatively, you could link it to your contact us page. And once we've done that, the final thing we now need to do is define where that coach needs to appear on the site. So I've indicated here that I'm a specialist putting coach. So my coaching role at the Academy doesn't extend to teaching juniors, but I do teach adults, and I teach within a specific facility. So I'm going to detick junior coach, and I'm going to leave the facility, adult coach, and home page, and hit update. So now if I navigated across to the Junior Academy page, we can see how I've not appeared as a coach. However, if we go to the one-to-one lesson page, we can see how I've appeared as a coach within this page. This next section of the training series is going to explore how we would edit the Your Coaching Facilities section that we can see here on the home page. So the Your Coaching Facilities section is made up of a map, and this will be preloaded by First Degree Golf Solutions using the data and the information that you provide us with. It also includes a description and then a key which relates to the map showing where your different facilities are located within your venue. You're able to edit the information, including the description, the names of these facilities, and then also the information that's visible within the modals. So, let's look at how we would edit that information. If we go to the home page and we scroll down to the Your Coaching Facilities section, we can see that we have a section which is made up of a row, including the header, the map section, the description, and then similar to our other areas, such as the coaching team, memberships, and lesson types, we have a short code category. So let's just start with edit the header. So I'm going to put location of our coaching facilities and hit save. I'm then going to change the description . And we're going to hit save. And now what we need to do is we need to edit the information within the modals. So Let's hit update. And we can see now that we've got the shortcode category is 16. So similar to before, we're going to navigate across to practice facilities. But we're going to duplicate the page. And we're going to choose categories. And we can see that we've only got one category, which is all. We may want to create new categories if you have different facilities for different lesson types within your academy. First Degree Solutions can help create this for you. But for the purpose of this training series, let's say that we have one consistent map for all of our lesson locations and facilities. So we're going to go ahead and choose the count, which is 9. So we can see that we've got 9 different facilities available within our venue. So let's go ahead and edit and change the name of the driving range. So perhaps at your venue it's known as the practice ground. So we're going to change the name to practice ground. We can edit the text that's visible within the modal. And then we may want to add an image. So let's use this image here. And insert it into the post. And we can now update and refresh the screen. We can now see how the driving range has changed to practice ground. We can click on the icon. We can now see that we've got an image visible underneath the text. We also have a read more URL space that we can add to link to a specific page. So you may want to link this to a specific page on your site. Perhaps you have a page on your site that gives more information about a facility. Or you may want to link this to your booking system. Using your bank of iconography, you can also change the featured image. So if we look here on the right, we have the featured image which is set. So simply to change the featured image, you would go into the media library, select the image by either uploading the file or selecting it from your media library, and set the featured image and hit update. So we can now see that the color of the image has changed. However, we need to remember that the icon or the image won't change on the map. So if you make any changes to the images that are visible here within the map, the key section, please let the team know at First Degree Golf Solutions so we can update your map. I'm going to change that one back to the red. And we're going to hit update. And let's refresh the screen. And we can see that it's now updated. This next section of the training series is going to explore how you would add testimonials and frequently asked questions to your website pages. We're going to cover this in the same chapter, as the functionality and process by which you would do this is identical. So we're on the home page and we've moved down to the testimonials and frequently asked questions section. And we can see this on our WordPress admin page. Again, we can change the title of these sections. So let's change the testimonials. We can hit update. and we can see how the header has changed. Beneath each of the headers, we can see again that we've got our shortcode categories. So for our testimonial section, category 36 relates to the home page. And again, we would open up a new page, duplicate the page so it opens in a new tab. And if we want to edit our testimonials, we would go across to our pupils. And we can select categories. And we're going to choose our home page category. Choose the count of 4. And we can see at the moment that we've got 4 testimonials that are visible on the home page. If we want to go in and edit the testimonial, we would simply select the testimonial and edit the text. If we want to add a new testimonial, we simply go Add New, enter a title, can add the testimonial content. And we now just need to assign that testimonial to the categories. So this testimonial here is for a handicap of 5. And let's say that this customer is an adult. We won't want to display this testimonial on the Junior Academy page, but we definitely want to display it on the adult coaching pages and the home page. Once we've assigned it to the categories, we then hit Publish. And we can refresh the page, and we can see how this testimonial has now appeared on the home page. However, if we navigate to the Junior Academy page, we won't see this testimonial visible on this page. To edit the FAQ section, the process is identical. However, you would choose FAQ, and we can go to Categories. Again, we can choose the home page, and we have 4 FAQs that are visible. So let's go ahead and add a new one. We're going to add new, and we're going to call this one Equipment. The FAQ section is made of 2 sections, the question section and the answer section. So in the question section, we purely put the question we want to ask. And then we put the answer. And we now just need to assign that question to a particular category or page. As this is regarding equipment for beginner group lessons, we're going to assign it to the home page, and we're going to assign it to the adult group section. And we now hit Publish. And let's refresh the home page, navigate down to the frequently asked question, and we can see now how we have the question and the answer. We're now going to move on to learn about how we can use our latest news page or blog section. This is a really useful page to use to keep your customers up to date with the latest programs and offers that you may be running. It can offer as a central hub for your customers to check the services that you're offering. You can also link this page to any marketing campaigns so your customers can read more information, and you can keep your messaging simple when you're sending out SMS or emails. So the latest news page on the demo site is currently visible under Contact Us. So if we click on Your Latest News, again we can see that we've got a banner, a red scrolling bar, and then we have a series of blog posts or news articles. But let's look at how you would add a new blog or news article. So for this, we're going to head across to Pages, and we're going to choose All Pages. We're going to find the latest news page, which we can see here. We're going to choose the live page. And we've got our slider, our red scrolling bar section, and then simply a section that says blog posts. This section is linked to the post section on the left. So we're going to duplicate the page again, and we're going to head across to posts. I'm going to choose categories. So your latest news section is formed of posts, categories, and tags. The post is the specific piece of information that you want to display to your customers. Categories is the broad category of news posts that you want to display. So here we've got 3 categories: Adult Academy News, Junior Academy News, and a blank section. For instance, we could title this one Latest Offers. The tag section enables you to tag specific posts within each category. For instance, the category might be Adult Academy News, but there may be different tags within your Adult Academy News posts, i.e. beginners, group lessons, or learners. So within each post, you're able to add it to a category and also assign it tags. This means your customers can get to the information most relevant to them when viewing your latest news section. So let's take a look at how we would firstly add a new post. We're simply going to go Add New. We can see here we've got the title and a space for our text. We can decide here on the right the format of the post that we're going to add. We can choose from standard, a link, quote, gallery, video, image, and audio. And they would simply display differently on our latest news page. So we're going to go with standard. We're going to add a title. New beginner coaching program starting this month. You could add some text. We can add some media. So I'm going to go ahead and add an image that I want to display. This could also be a flyer, for instance. And once I've completed this section and added all my images and text that I think is relevant, I can then add it to a category. So I'm going to add it to the Adult Academy News. It's not relevant to Junior News. And then I can assign some tags. So it's relevant to beginners, group lessons, and learners. And now I'm going to simply hit publish. So let's head across to our latest news. We can see how we've got our new news article that's visible at the top of the latest news section. And it's in Adult Academy News. If we click on the post, we can also see how we've tagged it as a beginner, group lessons, and learner. When a customer is within a post like this, they're able to navigate across your pages and also navigate across categories and also an archive of posts that you may have added. They could also click the tags. By clicking the tags, it would show all of the latest news articles that apply to that tag. So let's go ahead and add some new tags and new categories. So we can do that if we head to the categories section by filling in and adding a new category here. So I'm going to add a new category. The category is going to be offers. It's not going to have a parent category. And we're going to click add new. And we can see now how it's appeared. If we head over to tags, again we can add a new tag. Single figures. Single figure handicaps. And we can hit add new tag. We can see how now it's appeared. And we'll be able to choose from that tag when adding a new post. The final area that we need to explore is when a customer is navigating your site. They may have an interest in a post, and they may add a comment. So if I'm navigating this site and I'm interested in this new beginner coaching program, I may add a comment. And we're going to post the comment. So when we receive a new comment, we will receive a notification that a comment has been received. The comment won't go public on your post though until you have approved it. So to do that, you need to go to the comment section. And we can see here that we've got the latest post. Because it was posted by Demo Editor, it's automatically been approved. However, if this post was added by someone who wasn't familiar to us or was using the website for the first time, you would be able to approve this post. We can see how the section is red. We can click approve and we can reply. And we can then hit reply. If we go back to the post, we can see how the reply has appeared. So, as long as we ensure that we keep on top of our messages and that we approve messages that we want to appear and we monitor these effectively, the comment section can be a really effective way of communicating with your customers. Have a play around with adding the latest news post, linking it to a marketing campaign. You can also view more tutorials on using the latest news section from your bank of tutorials. The final part of the training series is now going to focus on the information that you will find on the Contact Us page. The vast majority of the information that we've covered so far in the training series will apply to most of the pages on the website. However, the Contact Us page includes some different elements that we need to cover in order for you to set up and get comfortable with using your website. So, what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the dashboard. And we're going to head to Pages and choose All Pages. And we're going to find our Contact Us Live page. Let's navigate to that page on the front end of the website. What we're going to notice is that we have a banner again, which we can edit as normal, just like our home page. However, we have a red scrolling bar now that is different, which includes a telephone number and an email. Again, we have a frequently asked questions section, which we can edit as per the tutorial we covered on the frequently asked questions section. But we now have a Find Us at Your Venue section with some information for your customers to use to reach you or get in contact with you, and also a Send Us a Message section. So to start with, let's look at how we would edit the red scrolling bar. So let's go to the Contact Us page and scroll down. We can see how we've got the layer slider, which we can edit as per the home page. But we now have a section for the Contact Us bar, formed of two columns, telephone and email. Let's go ahead and open up the telephone. And we're going to go ahead actually this time and open up the text area. If we look across the text code, we need to navigate across to two areas. The first one is Call To. This section relates to the number that will be called if a user clicks this number on their mobile or on their desktop. The number that's next to the arrow is what will display on the screen. So, let's go ahead and change the number. And we're going to hit Save and Update. We can see now how the number's changed. However, if we hover the cursor over the number and look in the bottom left-hand corner of the browser, we can see that the number is different. So we need to make sure that both numbers are the same. So we'll go again and open up that section, head to the text, and we're now going to change the information in the Call To section. And we're now going to hit Save. We're going to do the same now for the email section. Again, and we're going to change what's visible within the red bar so it's identical. And we're going to hit Save. And then we're going to update the screen. So we can now see within our red scrolling bar, we have a telephone number which matches the Call To telephone number in the bottom left-hand corner. And we have an email which matches the email Mail To in the bottom left corner. This will allow our customers to easily reach us when clicking these sections. We're now going to move down to edit the Find Us at Your Venue section that you will see on the Contact Us page. We now navigate across to our WordPress admin site and scroll down. We're going to find the header Find Us at Your Venue. So we're going to change the header. And hit Save. And we now have two columns. A column which features a map section and a column which features your contact information. First Degree Golf Solutions will set this section up for you. But if for any reason you need to change the location of your venue or coaching services, it'll be useful to know how to change the map. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to open up the element. And we can see the map at the moment is showing Rickmansworth. But let's say we're going to change our coaching venue or our location. How do we change the map? The first thing is we need to open up Google and head to Google Maps. And we're going to choose a random location. and we'll go to the map section. And we can see how the red icon is highlighted in Central Watford. So what we need to do is go and grab the embed code for this map location. So how we do that is we're going to click on the menu item and we're going to go down to where it says Share or Embed Map. And we have two options, send a link or embed a map. We're going to go to embed a map and we need to copy the iframe. We can see the code here where it says iframe. Let's head back to the edit page and find out where we're going to put that code. We're going to go across to text. And we need to add the code in between this section and this section. So let's go and grab that code. We want to grab the code that's in between HTTPS and at the end where it says UK. We don't need the width, the height, or the iframe at the start. Once we've got that, we can copy it and head back to our section. And we're going to move the cursor at the start of the section that we need to delete and move it to the end. And we're going to copy. We can see how it's copied the entire code. That's okay, we can highlight the cursor, delete all of the information up to the area that we need to start with. Which is the area up to HTTPS. So, let's delete this information. And we need to delete the information, remember, that's after this section. So we can now see that we've got our map visible to the right. We can now hit save. And we can now see how the map location has changed to Central Watford. Let's do that one more time with a new location. So we're going to type in Milton Keynes. Head to the menu area, share or embed map, embed a map. And let's copy the whole of the code, remembering that we only need to use the section starting from HTTPS and ending with UK. So we'll select the whole area, copy, open the map section, head to text, move the cursor to the start of HTTPS, drag and delete up to UK. Ensuring that we leave the speech marks. And we're going to copy that text. However, we don't need the iframe again, so let's delete that, but leave the speech marks before the HTTPS. And then we need to delete the information after the end of the speech marks. We can see now how we've got the map for Milton Keynes. Let's hit save and update. We can now see how we've got a new map visible on our How to Find Us section. There is a tutorial available within the tutorial bank which will recap how to do this. So we now need to go ahead and edit our address. Telephone number, fax and email, and we can edit this within the text area, the visual, and let's hit save. And we would now hit update. And that section would now be complete. The final section we now need to edit is the Send Us a Message section. This allows your customers to get in contact with you and send you inquiries. This section is made up of fields where a customer can enter their name, email, telephone number, add a message, indicate a subject, and then also mark whether they want to receive marketing information by email, SMS, and that they agree to terms and conditions and privacy policies. So to do this, we now need to navigate away from this page. We can see here at the bottom of the screen again that we've got some code. So let's duplicate the page. And we now need to head across to Contact, and we're going to choose Contact Forms. And we can see that we've got one contact form available, the Contact Us form. This section is made up of 4 different tabs. The form, which is the form that your customers would complete. And the only section that we would need to change is the section where it says Select a Subject. It's within these speech marks that you can change the subjects. So if we look on our Contact Us form, we have one-to-one, juniors, gift purchase. Let's add a new subject as subject number 4. So we're going to go with group coaching. And we're going to hit update and save. Refresh the page. You can now see how we have group coaching visible in the Select a Subject dropdown. We're now going to move to the next tab, which is Mail. The Mail tab indicates where you would like to send mail to for inquiries and automated responses that you will send to your customers. So let's start with the Mail section, the To section. So the To section indicates the email address where inquiries will be sent to. So at the moment, email inquiries are going to admin@firstdegree.golf. But I might change this. The From address indicates where the emails will be coming from. And as this is used for inquiries, we'd recommend that this is set to a no reply address, meaning that customers won't be tempted to email that address to get in contact with you. The subject would be the subject that goes into the subject field on the incoming email. So we would go with inquiry form. And we wouldn't change the message body. The next section is our autoresponder. The autoresponder is an automatic email that is sent to customers so they know that you've received their email. So in this section, we need to change the From section so they know who they're receiving the auto-response from. So we're going to change this to Demo Site. And again, we're going to make sure that it comes from a no reply address. The subject would be a subject indicating that you've received their email. And we can complete the message body. So the message body would be the text that appears within the email that is being sent to your customers. So we can see here, thank you for your inquiry. It has been received and we will contact you as soon as possible. We can then complete venue, address, and contact details. And we can click Save. If we now go across to the Messages tab, the Messages tab is messages that appear on the Send Us a Message section itself. So when a customer completes this section, they will see these messages depending on different alerts. For instance, when a customer completes this form successfully, they will see this message: your message has been received. It will also indicate errors with different fields, so your customers know when they have completed the form incorrectly. And you can edit all of these within these boxes. The final tab is Additional Settings, and you won't need to use this additional settings at any time. Once you set up the Your Send Us a Message section, we'd recommend that you complete a test inquiry. So let's have a go at doing that. I'm going to select a subject as group coaching. I need to complete the CAPTCHA code. And I'm going to tick that I want to receive email marketing and I agree to the terms and conditions. And we're going to click submit. We can see that the alert has appeared to say your message has been received. So let's head across to our email account to see what's come through. Okay, so we've received a couple of emails. So the first one is the email that's come from the system telling me that I've received an inquiry. Here's the subject, inquiry form, the name, the email, the message, the subject, and the fact that I've agreed for marketing information via email. You can also see that I've received the automated email to the same email address. Thank you for your email is the subject. Thank you for your inquiry. It has been received and we will contact you as soon as possible.